And to this now, KwaZulu-Natal is concerned over the increasing trend of girls under 18 giving birth. On New Year's Day alone, the province welcomed 341 infants, with 5 born to underage mothers, the youngest being 15. The 15-year-old girl gave birth to a baby girl at Port Shepstone Hospital, and the father of her baby is also 15. Let's now speak to the KwaZulu-Natal Social Development Department's Maphili Mhlongo on interventions in cases such as these and how we can, of course, deal with teenage pregnancy, not only in the province but also in the country. Ms. Mhlongo, thank you so much for your time, and good morning to you. I mean, this is quite concerning to see the number of young girls giving birth within the province. There was a case whereby a 17-year-old girl had gave birth to a baby boy, the father equally being 19. I just spoke about a 15-year-old giving birth, the father also being 15. 2 other girls, I understand, were also 15 who gave birth. That means that they were also having sex at the age of 14. Surely this is a concern for you as government within the province.
Good morning, Dumelo, and thank you very much for having me. I must indicate that this is really a concern for us as government, particularly the Department of Social Development, because we are responsible for we are custodians of the Children's Act, which it is important for it to ensure that children are protected. We are really having a concern because the challenge of teenage pregnancy is not a new thing, but I think one has noted that it has escalated over the few years. Particularly, it was noted during the pandemic, and it affects children from all walks of life, but particularly our children that are disadvantaged from the poor background are mostly affected. And this affects, their future, particularly because education is affected. As you have correctly indicated, that one of the cases that we've had in the province is a case of a 15-year-old girl, where you find that the father is also a 15-year-old boy. In most cases, teenage pregnancy has been, caused by issues where we have noted that there is a statutory rape, where you find that it's an older person that has, impregnated the girl. But as you have indicated in these instances, particularly the 15-year-old and the father being 15 years old, which then indicates that there's a lot that we need to do as government in terms of ensuring that we are able to assist children to be able to change their behavior, because this indicates that there's quite a lot of risky sexual behaviors that children are involved in.
Yeah, and if I may just jump in there, Ms. Mhlongo, if you may allow me, apologies for interrupting you, but oftentimes when we talk about teenage pregnancy, it seems the emphasis usually is more on the girl child, understandably so, because under normal circumstances, it is the child that has to breastfeed. The mother in this instance, who's equally a child, that has to breastfeed, take care of the child, be the primary caregiver. What are you planning on doing as government to ensure you address this for both the girl child and the boy child, as you've just noted that in this instance, a 15-year-old boy is also noted to being a father?
Our programs have started ensuring that we are able to target both males and female when it comes to children. If I can just indicate, one of the programs that we have where we are targeting children as early as 10 years, we've got a program that we call CHOMI, where we are targeting children, both boys and girls, and ensuring that we are able to support them and ensure that there are prevention programs at an early stage. Because, as you have indicated, I remember at some point we had a child which was 12 years old that was pregnant. So obviously it indicates that we need children that we have targets children that are 10 to 14 years, where we are assisting them to be able to ensure that they are able to take care of themselves and they understand their rights. We also have another program which we call You Live Once. It's a YOLO program. This one is targeting children from 14 years, from 15 up to the age of 24. So we are targeting children here that are really, you find that they are really involved in the risky sexual behaviors. And we are also assisting them to be able to ensure that they take care of themselves and they understand, the consequences of whatever that they are involved in. We also have programs that are targeting, boys only, because I think one has noted that, as you have correctly indicated, that we are targeting only girls, but you find that boys do not have their programs that are able to assist them to be able to look, to understand their issues, as well as ensuring that whenever they start involving themselves in sexual behaviors, they are able to take care of that. So we've got one of the programs that we call Boys Assembly.
If I may just also jump in there, Ms. Mhlongo, with regards to the programs, because I need parents as well to, I suppose, take caution here. These are young children who you expect at the age of 14 to be out playing, to be in school, educating themselves, not to be thinking about sex, not to be engaging in risky sexual behavior, as you've mentioned, clearly unprotected sex that has resulted in pregnancy. It's a concern for parents, for society. It's a concern for teachers who are complaining that they are not trained to be social workers at school and to guard and take care of pregnant children, but to educate children. What do you think is the root cause problem for 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds engaging in risky sexual behavior? Because that will then inform the programs that you have in place. What have you found to be the root cause of children thinking of sex instead of either playing or educating themselves or doing what 12-year-olds are expected to do, which is to be children?
Tumelo, as a department, together with other departments that are role players in this problem, we have started. I'm starting from 2021. In fact, we had roundtables where we're engaging young people, those that have been affected by teenage pregnancy, parents, as well as other role players, as well as leaders in the communities. And we had these discussions where children, were able to give their voices in terms of what is it that, is causing. If I can just mention one of the issues, apart from the fact that the issue of poverty, I think it came out very clearly, because most of the time you'll find that children will be, given money by the older persons that engage in sex with them. But in most cases, children indicated that there is lack of communication between them and parents, and they really wanted to have that with their parents. I remember at some point there was something where they were indicating that we want government to intervene and save us from our parents, because our parents do not have time for us, and our parents do not even discuss these issues with us. So those are some of the issues that came out, and also the fact that children indicated that there is a lot of peer pressure, particularly boys have got a lot of influence, on the girl child. And as a result of that, they then needed to be assisted. So the social behavior change, to deal with those issues. As I indicated earlier on, the way the problem has escalated, it showed that it needed a multidisciplinary approach. So we are really not doing this alone. We are doing it with other departments. As much as there are programs within the Department of Social Development, when you go to the Department of Health, they also have programs, that are targeting children. When you go to the Department of Health, even NPA has got problems. Remember, have got programs. Remember, NPA is also responsible for the criminal law that is responsible for ensuring that the teenage pregnancy, in fact, it has been said now when you, in the discussions that have been said, that we really do not need to, call it teenage pregnancy now. We really need to call it statutory rape, because obviously in most, over 98% of these cases are due to statutory rape.
All right, we have to leave it there due to time, Ms. Maphili Mhlongo, but definitely point taken there, and I couldn't agree there with you more. We need to call it what it is. Statutory rape is statutory rape when an underage girl is engaging in sex, or rather is, in a sexual relationship, especially even also one that leads to pregnancy, particularly as well with an older person. Those need to be held accountable because they are indeed perpetrators who are breaking the law. Maphili Mhlongo, thank you so much for the time that we had with you, KwaZulu-Natal Social Development Deputy Director General at